As you guys can see with the title, it's showing a bunch of people out in British Columbia that are Zelda fans that are lining up for blocks to get their hands on the new game. So this is back in May 12th, 2023. The next big release that you're probably gonna hear about is gonna be Modern Warfare 3. Now there's other games that are out there that are gonna be doing the release. Just one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest one that's supposed to come out, is gonna be Modern Warfare 3. So we're gonna see how that takes place. I believe that's coming out in about a month. It might actually be this month. You guys let me know in the comments. But so there's fans that have been waiting since 2017. So that was the last time that they had a Zelda game. Now for those who have now gotten a sneak peek of how the video game is, you can see just how amazing the game is and a lot of interesting things to do in there. But the reason we're speaking about this game here today, even though the release date is past, is that this phenomenon is not a new thing. And by phenomenon, what I mean is fans lining up for blocks to get their hands on new games has been a thing for quite a bit of time. It's been a thing since, as far as I know, at least since the early 2000s. It's been at least. And it's probably been a thing since time. Gamers are very avid fans, and I totally understand it because once a game sells out or once it's hard to get, it's hard to get. So you don't specifically want to be the person who's left out if that's what you like to do. And then at the same token, you have to know that there's also big money in gaming. So there are plenty of big ticket tournaments where people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's ones obviously that are less, but even still, there's thousands of dollars that are on the line. And if you are into big streaming, say if you got things like Twitch, or if you have a YouTube channel, there's many different ways that you can do it. You get involved in these things, and there's big money to be made in a lot of these things. So having the new game, so you can flesh out the newest content and stuff like that, is key. So that's some of the ways that a lot of these guys invest in stuff. And there's many different aspects. So again, being able to get your hands on this game or these games right when they come out, before they come out, things of that nature, is key. But not everybody has the patience, the time, or are close enough to an area to just be able to stand in line all the time. Sometimes it can be in the middle of winter. It may not even be in the middle of winter, it just might be really cold. It might be really hot. The lineups might be so long that there are people who have slept in parking lots, in tents, in order to get to the release. So as you can imagine, not everybody can afford that, but some people, this is really what they want to do, whether they're just an avid gamer, whether it's part of their business to actually provide content. Whatever the reason is there's a big demand for it. Now, because there's a big demand for it, there needs to be a service that provides for those who can't necessarily be there to stand up in line all day. Some people get their parents to do it, some people get their friends to do it, and because of this demand, we end up finding out that there is actually a service. There's actually many services, but in the early stages, some people just thought, okay, well, this might be a good idea because there's people who want to do it. Because of the fact that it's become such a big thing, there are now bigger services that actually they kind of make sure that it's people who are vetted in certain ways. So like you you have to go through a certain process so that people understand your identity and things of that nature. So for those who are looking for more security by knowing a lot more about the people, then they can go that route. Some people, they trust some of the other services that other people have made. So it all depends on really how it is you want to go about it. But again, as we're looking at CBC, it's showing just a small glimpse of how crazy this lineup is, and I can imagine it getting a lot bigger depending on what you're into. So the job that we are speaking of is a line stander, a queue stander, or a line sitter, or a queue professional. It's a person who takes a position in a queue in place of another, often for payment. The stander may queue to buy a physical object such as games, consoles for their client, or may hold a space for that person if queuing for a service. So that's really the overall idea of it, is you can do that. Now, by doing that, you you know, you're you're basically providing for a demand that a lot of people have that they may not necessarily want to get involved with. And this website right here, TaskRabbit, is one of those places where you can actually get involved in this type of thing. So waiting in line up isn't the least.
This is some of the times where you can find yourself getting a lot more opportunities to stand in line is when there's a big release, you know, or if you're in touch with the gaming community, then it's a lot easier to market these things, because if you're known as somebody who can provide such a service and there's people who are interested in games in your local community, if they know that you have the service in TaskRabbit to do such a thing, then they may call on you, especially if you're well known to do this. So how do you get involved to wait in line? Basically, this is how you can book one of these individuals who's interested in it. But if you actually want to get involved in terms of actually sitting in line to make money, you can click on become a tasker right here. So a tasker is somebody who is able to do certain tasks for people. Also, along with this, if you guys seen in my other video where I talked about IKEA also has people who do certain tasks such as moving and or assembling furniture. TaskRabbit is actually the hub where you can sign on to assemble furniture and or help people move. So again, becoming a tasker, and these are just a few of the examples that you have with becoming a tasker. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, then that's something you can do. Now, if you're a gamer, one of the reasons why you want to be somebody who's a line professional or a queue professional is because it gives you the opportunity to not only stand in line to make to make money for people who want to get the game, but then you can also position yourself as well to be one of the first people in line. So not only are you making money while you're waiting in line, but then as well you can also grab yourself be one of the first people to grab a new game, a new console, so that if you are a content creator who is a gamer, then you can, you're killing two birds with one stone essentially. So now it ends up paying for itself. You made money standing in line, which can also help offset the amount of cost that it cost you to pay for the game or the console. It's a win-win right there. So if you're a gamer, once again, think of this as an opportunity. This is one of the gems I'm giving you guys so that you're able to make money in this current climate. Hopefully it was a good one for you. And if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section. Let me know what it is you want me to speak about next, and we'll see you guys in the next video.